Do you know who David Pawson was? He's passed away now, but when he was alive, he was a very dangerous person. He was a soft-spoken, elderly, apparently knowledgeable Bible scholar. The problem is, he had grave errors in his teaching. I wonder how many people David Pawson led to hell? His teachings had just enough truth in them to seem correct, but his doctrine was dead wrong. His videos are still on YouTube, beguiling the ignorant. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how wrong he was in his theology. Here is a clip of him teaching when he was quite old. His soft-spoken and frail, yet confident demeanor, his white hair, implying wisdom, the fact that he was called Dr. Pawson, all designed to make one assume he was legit. You'd probably think to yourself, this man must know more than I do, right? Well, just listen to what he says.
I'm giving you the compliment of assuming that most of you are believers. And I want to deal with the second mistake. And that mistake is to think that a Christian is someone who does nothing, who says Christ has done it all, and who believes that good works are no use, because we're not saved by works, we're saved by faith.
It's true we are not saved by works, but I don't know anyone who teaches that works are not important. Works are very important. They just are not required for salvation or justification.
And to many Christians, that means that Christ has done all that is necessary, and all I need to do is accept that. And as soon as I accept that, I'm safe. Didn't use the word saved there, I used the word safe, because that's what they think it means.
Pawson says all this to imply that thinking that Jesus did it all is the wrong idea. Interesting. John 19 verses 28 to 30 says, "After this, Jesus, knowing that all things were now accomplished, that the scripture might be fulfilled, said, I thirst. Now a vessel full of sour wine was sitting there, and they filled a sponge with sour wine, put it on hyssop, and put it to his mouth. So when Jesus had received the sour wine, he said, It is finished. And bowing his head, he gave up his spirit." But Mr. Pawson now says Jesus did not do it all. We have to do something. Jesus' death was not enough. That is a shame.
And I want to show you, before we finish tonight, that a believer can finish up in hell in the wrong eternity.
What blatant heresy. Revelation 21 verse 8 lists many things that will earn you condemnation to the lake of fire. It says, "But the fearful and unbelieving, and the abominable, and murderers, and whoremongers, and sorcerers, and idolaters, and all liars, shall have their part in the lake which burns with fire and brimstone, which is the second death." Is believer on that list? Nope. But unbeliever is definitely on that list. People like Mr. Pawson crave attention. And by telling this crowd of congregants that even though they believe in Jesus, they might still end up in hell, sure will get that attention.
And if you believe that you're safe, then you better go home now before I disturb you.
Trust me, this is his goal. He is a fearmonger. He doesn't want people to have assurance of salvation. He wants people to be afraid.
So that's my theme for tonight. That Christians have to do many things if they're going to be saved eventually.
Compare what he just said with Ephesians 2 verse 8 and 9, which says, "For by grace are you saved, through faith, and that not of yourselves, it is the gift of God, not of works, lest any man should boast." This man is a wolf in sheep's clothing.
I must confess, I'm not saved yet.
No truer words were ever spoken by this man.
I'm looking forward to being saved, aren't you? No, you're not sure? Well, before I'm finished tonight, I hope you'll look forward to being saved. Because the word saved occurs in the New Testament in 3 tenses, past, present, and future.
What he is not going to tell you is that each one of those has a different meaning with respect to the Christian life. He will claim they all mean saved from hell.
And it says of all believers that we have been saved, we are being saved, and we will be saved.
Mr. Pawson should be astute enough to know that these three tenses mean three different things. The past tense is when we believe or have faith and are saved from hell forever. The present tense one means we are saved from the power of sin in our daily life. This is Christian living. And the third tense means future glorification in heaven, saved from the presence of sin. Now watch how he implies that because the Bible uses present and future tenses, that means we are not saved from hell.
And if I ask you, do you realize which of the three dimensions is most emphasized? The answer is the future salvation.
The tense that speaks of us being saved from daily exposure to sin. In other words, going to heaven.
And when Paul says in his letter to the Romans, we are nearer our salvation than when we first believed. And again, I've never heard that preached, that text.
Really? He has never heard that text preached? I guess what he means, he's never heard it twisted to mean redeemed from hell. It means we are closer to being in heaven. Naturally, he is twisting it to mean something it does not mean. This is his specialty.
But we are nearer our salvation than when we first believed. Unfortunately, we have all fallen into the habit of only thinking of the past salvation. And we always use the word saved in the past tense. I was saved at a Billy Graham crusade. I was saved last Sunday. I was saved.
That means you were born again, redeemed, sanctified. Listen how he distorts Scripture to mean you must work to be saved. Right. Pawson is a false prophet.
I rarely hear a Christian say, I will be saved. And on that future date, I'm going to shout as loud as I can, once saved, always saved, because then it will be true.
What a gross misunderstanding of Scripture. This man hasn't the first clue about the meaning of what he is talking about.
I must explain myself a lot here. You're looking puzzled, some of you. And I'm very conscious of what people look like when I'm speaking.
The reason they look puzzled is because they can tell he is not making any sense. He has misunderstood this basic theology. Three different Greek words with three different meanings, all translated as saved in English. He thinks they all mean born again, but they don't. Anyway, I don't know where he got his theology degree, but he must have slept through some of his classes. Anyway, mark and avoid this man's teachings. They are way off base and confusing. Thanks for watching.